We ought to be respecters of time and season. And I believe the time and season we are in right now is Tuko Kadi.
Yes. Tuko Kadi.
Tuko Kadi. Your voter's card is your covenant. It's like your covenant stamp. You can pray to God and ask God, any decision that you will make come the next election, let be a decision that is under the will of God and that is, best for the generation to come.
Awesome. That just to remind you that you have an opportunity to change the course of our generation and our nation. We can complain, we can cry, we can do all things that we can think of doing, but if we don't take the initiative, and right now we are asking you, please make sure if you don't have a voter's card, please go get a voter's card. Now, Kenya is youth dominated. You can imagine that 75% of our population is below the age of 35. That's a big number. And interestingly, the young people between the age of 18 to 35 are actually 36% of the population. So that means we are close to 20 million young people who are eligible to vote in 2027. Now, I don't know what that means to you. Now, welcome to CITAM ChurchOnline. Today, we are going to roll out a conversation that is very important for our time. Why the voices of the young people are important. Na sijui kama uko kadi, because mimi niko kadi. And in fact, nimechange kadi yangu penye inafaa yanguka nifanye kazi. And today, we're going to have a conversation around leading now on voices, votes, and values, because that really is important. Now, today on the show, I'm so excited that I'm joined by someone I respect, someone I honor, and someone who is leading the change, the transformation that we have been praying for. Man, I don't know if you just turn on the news. Well, come on, unasianga headache. Okay, tuko na Brian Mwau hapa, and Brian Mwau is someone who is a leader that is really respected. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you, my brother?
I'm fine,
brother Pasi.
Maze umengara bad. Wewe unataka uko kadi kweli mzee.
Thank you. Ngaro is just an assurance here. Niko Kadi. Okay. Yes, I'm in Kadi. Okay. So my name is Brian Mwau.
Awesome.
I'm the head of business development in one of the leading special economic zones in Africa called Two Rivers International Finance and Innovation Center.
Awesome.
We are located in Two Rivers. And besides that, also, we have developed something else that I'm taking the lead on that, called the Traffic Global Business Services, outsourced in Africa.
Amazing.
Where we are connecting local SMEs to opportunities, global opportunities.
Oh.
So yes, and besides that, Niko Kadi, I have both my ID and my Kadi. Previously, I've been voting in Murang'a County.
Okay.
Coincidentally, but I'm from Makueni County. But this time round, I've decided I'll be voting at home. So I've registered as a voter in Makueni County.
Awesome, yes. Brian.
Yes.
And what does that Niko Kadi means? Because we have been seeing a lot of campaign. I mean, pushing young people to get the voter's card. And in the previous election, I think when you look at the political synergy of young people, in terms of them getting excited to vote, this coming election is more hyped compared to the previous election. So when you hear Niko Kadi, there's a young person who is watching this conversation possibly. What does Niko Kadi means?
For me, Niko Kadi, for me, it means the decision is within my power, or rather my control.
Awesome.
Because as young people before, millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, I think it cuts across. We always feel like decisions before they have been made on our behalf. We don't get to decide who rules us. We don't get to decide who leads us. We don't get to decide which school you go to. That's a decision that was done by the government.
Yes.
You don't have the right to decide, even which company you will end up working for. All you have to do is just to send CVs roundabout, and whichever company or institution will feel like employing you, that is the one that you'll choose.
Yes.
So for the first time, this Niko Kadi, it gives a sense of personal responsibility. That the opportunity to take up the initiative to make a decision has been bestowed to young people.
Yes.
And why is young people critical.
Yes.
We have to argue our basis, of course,
By
from the scriptures.
Yes.
I went through the scriptures. There's no really perfect story about leadership in the Bible that didn't start with a young person.
Ooh.
And we can start with the story of Joseph. Joseph,
yes.
When he was sold to Egypt in a foreign land, Joseph, at the age of 30, is the one who was able to interpret the dream of Pharaoh.
Typical Kenyan news.
And not only be able to interpret, he was also able to come up with the solution to how, derived, of course, from the meaning of the dream.
Yes.
And it's a solution that was adopted by the government then of Pharaoh, that they were able to store food.
That's right.
For many years.
That's right.
And that first communicates the first role of young people. If Kenya has to get to Singapore, as we always say, it has to be driven by innovation.
Yes.
But we cannot speak innovation without having young people in the picture.
So young people are an important part of the picture.
Young people, they are the carriers of innovation.
I see.
You cannot speak about innovation
and you miss out on young people.
Yes, and you miss out on young people. And in fact, case study has shown that one of the greatest limitation of innovation is experience.
Experience.
Yes. Any time you meet someone saying, I have 30 years of experience, I have 40 years of experience, they are quite too far from innovation.
Yeah.
And it's because innovation needs you to have less pessimism and see optimism in everything.
I see.
And what experience does at times, it creates fear, internal fear. Based on my experience, when I was 23 years old, I tried this thing, it didn't work. So why do you tell me now that I'm 54, it will work for me?
Okay. Now let me ask you, Brian, if you consider the fact that Kenya is a youthful population.
Yes.
I mean, young people between the age of 18 to 35, they're eligible voters. These are people who can actually decide the course.
Yes.
The next course of leadership and governance.
Correct.
I mean, if we commit ourselves to understand, what I just want to ask you is, do you think young people are prepared enough? We can talk about the wave. I mean, we can talk about this wave, Tuko Kadi and all that. But do you think we are prepared enough, or are we going to the ballot box with a sense of trauma? Because if you meet a young person, a common young person, an average young person in this country, they have a degree, they don't have a job. They have a degree, they have skills. Some of them are entrepreneurs. They don't have the resources to kick off a business and all that. What should we do so that we don't vote with anger, but with a mind that is informed, but also with faith that is built in terms of the hope of this country?
One thing that gives me confidence is actually the young people. They make the biggest population of believers in this nation. And if you really want to see and believe that young people believe, when we saw the Gen Z marching on the streets, that took a lot of faith. Because I interacted with a lot of parents who are very much worried about their children going to the streets. But these young people, they took to the streets. They were fearless. They were informed. And even by that time, of course, it was as a result of the finance bill.
Yeah, that's right.
But what's funny and what's actually gives me a lot of confidence is young people had actually read that finance bill.
In fact, some of them used
AI
understood it to break it down.
And even those who didn't understand it, we had classes on TikTok at night.
Yes.
So that those guys who understand it, they were able to educate the others.
Yeah.
So this Tuko Kadi initiative is just one way of just telling you that the young people are ready to be part of the decision.
Yes.
And to make a decision for the first time, they will feel ownership too. And if you take back to the previous elections before we've had, and the most recent one in 2022, the young people tend to
step back.
To step back and say that was a church decision.
Yes.
But now, they want to make a decision that makes them feel it's our own decision.
Yeah.
And going back to my first point, there was no great leadership in the Bible that did not involve young people. I just told you about the story about Joseph.
Yeah.
The second person is actually David.
David,
he was anointed at the age of 17 to become the king of Israel. And after his anointing, do you know actually he started staying in the same palace with the king at that time, since that time.
Yes.
So for any government to work, and of course, our government is always Christian based, and there's a belief system in how leadership in our country happens. The young people have to be part of the cabinet. They have to be part of the people making decisions.
Yeah.
Because if it worked in the Bible times, it can also work now.
It can also work now.
And we don't say, we are not saying give them the cabinet secretary positions. No. We are saying the only role that David played during Saul's time was just to get to play the harp for the king. And in that, it's because he carried the presence of God in him.
Awesome.
Go again and check the story of Josiah. Josiah actually reigned since he was 8 years old.
And the reformations he was able to
when you think about that, you realize it's not an age thing. It's not a youth thing. We are talking about who are the carriers of divinity. One of the reasons why our parents are blessed today, the biggest privilege, and I'm speaking this as a father, is because they took care of us as children. As a father today, I am taking care of my young son called Taifa. I've seen God answer me in greater ways that I would have never imagined.
That's right.
So, but anytime I question why this blessing is coming my way, I already have the answer. It's because I have a young person living with me. And also besides that, he's made me understand my relationship with God better, because how I relate to him is a father-son relationship. It's made me understand how I can relate to God as a father-son. So also in leadership, if you cannot have young people within the decision making, or rather on the table as every other person says it, then your decisions will be biased. And remember, the decisions we make today affect the generations to come. So if you make a decision without the consideration and having the presence of the next generation, at least the transitioning generation on the table, then you might end up making a decision that will never work for the young people. And that's why you've seen there's been a lot of discomfort, there's been a lot of rankles, there's been a lot of, rebellion, even within the young people.
Awesome.
And that's why I believe, this is a time for young people to realize it's an opportunity given. So come, make your choice. Let us know your choice. So that maybe 10 years from now, we can look back and say, at least we stood and we understood this was our responsibility to make a decision, and we did it, not for us, but also for the generations to come.
Now, I don't know what this conversation means to you as a young person and any other person also just watching this video right now. But I also heard someone mentioning some times ago that being young is not the right to leadership. And leadership is not something you wait for. Maybe just to share your experience in a short span, just let us know what are some of the things that will prepare young people for leadership. And as you answer that, why do you think then their voices matter now more than ever?
So one of the things that, of course, will prepare young people to leadership is being selfless. The generation that we live, or rather we've been brought up in, it's so self-centered. It's all about me and what matters to me. And if it's not about me, then I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But the journey to selfless, where you realize it's actually not about me, it's about others.
It's about others.
How I carry myself, does it make you comfortable or uncomfortable? The way I carry myself, can someone else borrow a leaf from my values and be of impact to them?
That's right.
The moment you see yourself last, that's the journey to leadership.
The moment you see yourself last, that is the journey to leadership.
You've just started leadership.
Profound.
And why our voices matter now is because every other matter that Africa, not only just Kenya, is going through revolves around the youth. Let's talk about unemployment in Kenya. I'll give you the statistics. Kenya, we are a population of around 60 million. Out of that 60 million population, we have a working population of 20 million.
20 million.
20 million working population.
Okay.
But do you know how many people are formally employed out of the 20 million? Only 3.5 million Kenyans are formally employed. Among that 3.5 million Kenyans who are formally employed, 1 million are public servants.
Come on.
Those are government, the politicians,
yes.
we talked,
yes.
the doctors,
yes.
Government servants, public servants.
Public servants, yeah.
So only 2.5 million people out of a working population of 20 million have what I would call a long-term engagement in terms of employment. And the biggest again population that has of these unemployed people are the young people. And why is key for the young people is where a young person is not employed and is young, you've taken away the hope.
Absolutely.
This person does not look into the future and see the possibility of having a family one day.
That's right.
He does not look through the future and see the possibility of being able to take care of his parents who sold everything that they had to make sure that they had the best education.
That's right.
If they they step back and look at the future, they cannot see anything enviable about themselves. And that's why our voice matters. And not just the voice, but also the vote counts. Because yes, I always say the electrical IEBC, they have their own independent ways of counting their votes.
That's right.
But also, I'll also tell the people, the TikTok and the Facebook and the social media online presence young people has is also another way of counting their votes.
That's right. Digital space.
And lastly, I will say, the government is actually a company. And in this company, the citizens, that's you and I, we are the board members. The president becomes the CEO of the institution who reports to the board. And the board is us, citizens. The cabinet secretaries, they are senior executive members in this organization.
That's right.
The members of parliament and governors and all the other, they are employees of this institution. But who are the board members? We are the board members. And a board member can decide when to fire,
and to hire,
when to give a notice, when to hire, when also to call for a performance review.
Beautiful.
But over time, we've lost it. We've thought that it's like the political leaders are the stakeholders and we are their servants. It's not the case.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. The moment young people start realizing this and they understand their position as stakeholders, as board members, then we have the power to take this nation forward. But most importantly, what I always say, we don't want also to create a generation of rebellion.
That's right.
And I will give you an example. When God rejected Saul, God being supreme, he would have killed Saul that same night when he rejected him.
That's right.
But each and every assignment has a time and a season.
The season.
And as human beings, one thing we cannot alter is a time and season. So everything that young people should do is also understand what is the time and season we are at. And understand that until the appointed time comes for a change, you are obligated to honor, you are obligated to respect, you are obligated to pray for, and in whichever way you can, support.
That's right.
But if you start working under rebellion, remember what happens to rebellion. Even the devil tried to rebel against God.
That's right.
And he was thrown and deported from heaven.
That's right.
So we ought to be respecters of time and season. And I believe the time and season we are in right now is Tuko Kadi.
Yes. Tuko Kadi.
Tuko Kadi.
Now, Tuko Kadi, and thank you so much, Brian. You have really broken a number of pieces there just to helping us understand, especially what is leadership. Because we can be talking about something we don't understand, but also understanding the power that we carry in our hands. And God has given us that stewardship. And that voter's card is God giving you an opportunity to change the trajectory of where this country is going and where the economics of this country is going to be in a few years from now. Now, Brian, as we wrap this conversation up, I just want you to look at this camera and just give one or two words to the young people and how they can shape the trajectory of this country.
Young people, I would say this opportunity that God has given us, it's the opportunity to be able to study and learn what is great leadership, what is servanthood leadership, and what is leadership that is guided by the word of God. There is one wise man who once said, anytime you are eating meat, you have to have the wisdom of when to chew the meat and when to throw the bone. So don't let us not act up and start developing hatred toward leadership. But let us take it as a way of learning where we can be able to, in the future, say, there's a time we went through this. And the only bit that we didn't like about, let's say, this season, when our country was going through, is ABCD. And once you learn that, once also you as young people, you are given an opportunity to lead, you'll be able to learn from the mistakes of our fathers, and you'll be able to become emergent, become greater. Remember the scripture says, the grace of the latter house shall always be greater than that of the former. So don't also have high expectation of the former. Instead, embrace the former, accept it, it's part of us, but look forward of the latter grace, because that is what we have been told will be greater.
That's right.
And the truth is, each and every generation has its own priorities. One thing I like about my generation, we don't care about which car you drive. We don't care about where you live. We don't care about the suit you wear. In fact, if employed in a company, if we would have been told to go in shorts, we would go in shorts.
That's right.
We don't really care. What really we care is, are we happy? And that's what is the most important thing. If we can go back to starting cultivating happiness as a nation, and we say happiness starts with me, and happiness starts with you. How I treat you, how you treat me. If we can go that personal, then we can be able to make Kenya a greater place. Other than that, please, your voter's card is your covenant. It's like your covenant stamp. You can pray to God and ask God, any decision that you'll make come the next election, let be a decision that is under the will of God and that is, best for the generation to come.
Awesome. That just to remind you that you have an opportunity to change the course of our generation and our nation. We can complain, we can cry, we can do all things that we can think of doing, but if we don't take the initiative, and right now we are asking you, please make sure if you don't have a voter's card, please go get a voter's card. That is the opportunity and the stewardship platform that God has given you to change the trajectory of this nation. Now, this is CITAM Church Online. This has been the leading young conversation on voices, votes, and values. And I've been your host, Okanda Eugene, and I'm a pastor here at CITAM. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Stay safe and Tuko Kadi. Cheers.